Alrighty then, today, fungus. What is fungus and what is it all about, and more importantly, what can we do about it and improve it? So, fungal, anytime we use the word infection, we should probably be using the word fungal infection, because that's what it is, it's a fungus. And it's another way that our society uses a kind of a spell-in to confuse us, so we don't actually know what it is, and it doesn't really help our healing journey. So let's have a look at it in Mother Nature. Everything, say a nut, anything that doesn't move is inevitably going to get something that's going to attack it or want to eat it or have some sort of predator. So it creates some sort of defense mechanism, and quite often that's a coating of phytic acid or some sort of acid or a barrier, which is you find on nuts quite often. That's why we soak our nuts, and that's kind of fun. When you soak your nuts, it's much tastier and much easier to absorb. You actually absorb those nuts in the gut, of course. And let's face it, cancer is, if in one sentence, systemic fungal infection. That's it. And it's just the stuff that's in the fungus, and that control of the mind stops us from actually healing and growing, because it has a significant effect on the subconscious bodily temple or the subconscious mind. I'm certainly noticing that as I'm going through a fungal cleanse. So, especially fire people especially are going to have the most fungus, because we're acidic. Or we were acidic for a very long time until we alkalized and we started healing and fixing our diet. And as a result, and we want to heal ourselves and get that stuff out and go back into the past and forgive ourselves in the best way possible by removing it from the body easily. Cool, so I've been having some fungal treatments and doing some herbal remedies, and I'll just show you. So, the way I describe a fungal network, because it's a fungal network through the body, is similar to a volcano network around the world. So if we've got, all of Indonesia, and then that connects over to Hawaii, and then it goes here and there, because underneath there's a certain fire. Fire people? Yeah, we get it, right? So sometimes when this fire goes a bit crazy, or a little bit out of control and unbalanced, the fire within comes out, and we start spitting fire at people by yelling or, telling them they're stupid because they didn't understand it the third time. Totally know that one. Who's familiar with that? Yeah, I'm sure. Guess what? It's the fungus. And it's also the fungus on the liver and spleen. So, what I'll do is I'll show you. I've been having some UV light treatments. Whoa, he's teasing with his flirting with his stripping. And of course, so basically, as we know, say there's a rainbow here and the light from the sun comes through. It's got a UV light, but then it's got filters, essentially like 7 chakras. So the light is filtered through there, and underneath we want to get that light to it. So what's happening with, say, I've got, some mold and some fungus. Like moles are actually fungus, and these are mostly along the spleen, liver, meridian lines. So that's just a little bit of fungus that's stuck between your fire and the external sun. So we've been having UV light treatments, which use a bit of an electrical charge through a UV filter onto it, and it goes zzz, 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 and it disperses the network and disrupts them. And you'll definitely find a couple of different thoughts and mental patterns and things, because they're getting disrupted. They're getting had. Let's give it to them. We're fire people. We can screw them up. And because we're determined and competitive sometimes, aren't we? Yeah, totally. And of course, these things are responsible for all of these. You'll notice a lot of people with fire have mold in similar spots. So after the treatments, these ones have been opening up, and you'll notice there's some about here. Well, isn't that line across there is where most fire people have the liver and spleen nervous system connection along the spine. So the fungus is hiding in that part of the spine. You'll notice if you go like this a lot, like, you know, you just move like that because you want to crack that bit in the spine because there's tension there. You know, you might also go and do stretches like this to align that part and get it, you know, moving because there's something in there. It's fungus. Absolutely, 100% it's fungus. Because I'm removing it. So that's why these things come to me. And you'll notice a lot of fire people because we've got generally a spleen deficiency because the liver is working so hard. Liver and gallbladder, especially from detoxifying in our garbage in our Western world environment. So our subconscious mind and our thoughts go, gotta get this out, gotta get, you know, with some anger and some rage or some fury or the things that balance that out in the spleen are feminine and nurturing and watery and slowing down and resting, massage, meditation, these sorts of things. Generally not our strength because we're too busy getting stuff done and firing up everywhere. And those people who don't stop and rest and relax, they're the ones that have chronic inflammation because they've been on fire their entire lives, and then they get to, you know, 50s and 60s and go, I can't stop. I can't retire from my job that I've been moving around doing fire all the time and putting out spot fires, because they've got spot fires in here and they've actually degraded their tissues from there down, the liver and the spleen down, so they've actually been cannibalizing their own tissues because they've got so much acidic fire. Yeah, it's not a pretty picture, I can tell you. So they can't actually stop, and they never have a chance to rest and relax when that's exactly what they need to nurture and rest and comfort the spleen, the feminine side. And of course, if we don't do that, we end up with iron deficiency, and then we get even more and more. Got to get stuff done moving around because I've got no red blood cells. Not fun. So, back onto the fungus. What I've noticed, the main... also, you'll see how there's a bit here on the right side. There's from a lot of inflammation on that same meridian, but also on the right side of the lower back, which you'll notice a lot of people, fire people in particular, and in the Western world, you'll see a lot of people with spinal alignments like this. Have a look around, because we're crunching into the liver and gallbladder because we don't want to hide our gunk, and it's not in very good condition because it's been overworked and generally quite inflamed. So we kind of hide that. We don't want to hide out. We don't want to spray our angry and our grr issues when they fire at people. But sometimes the subconscious and the fungus controls our mind to make it happen when we're a little bit imbalanced. So we end up getting a compressed disc on the spine on the right hand side. So we get more fungus there because it's any place in the body that's going to have an imbalance, especially for fire people, we're going to get a fungal growth there. Yeah. I've known about my fungal colony, and I'm pretty sure it's in the spleen. And that's where its main colony is, or the main host. Yeah, man, that was fitting in, isn't it? And of course, there's been a spot there for for 4 years. That's like, ooh, hang on, something's moving. It actually feels like a big muscle cramp in my Bikram yoga practice, because it can actually pop out of its usual spot because there's extra growth there and it doesn't like being moved. It has to have a reaction. What I've also noticing as well, in particular, as these fungal infections are being drawn out with black salve. So you can see they're a bit dark, some of these things, because black salve is it's a topical ointment, I guess, or salve, and it has a lot of bloodroot and fungal infection properties, fighting properties. And it's really, really beneficial that when you do put it on an open wound that is formerly a mole that's been opened up from a volcano into a crater, it can sting a little bit. And I'm noticing, when I'm really present, even just during the day doing some tasks, then that part of the network, that mole, will really be stinging right now. And then instantly, my mind and my body goes, couldn't be bothered. I don't do that. Absolute apathy. Who knows that one? Yeah. Totally. Fire people, right? That's what we do. So we go, sometimes have you noticed within yourself, as I have with me a lot, we go from absolute apathy. We're coming from the fungal colony in the spleen. And then we're so much fire, always on fire. Got to get stuff done, got to move, I'm pumping, I'm really good. I mean, I'm totally cool if you're using that get stuff done fire mentality for yourself and your own healing journey. But if we're doing it as a job or for the matrix or for somebody else, that's externalizing your energy and your power. So, sure, do that. Medium pace is enough for fire people. We're already kicking everyone's ass anyway. So, we do it medium pace. We've therefore got medium pace at work. Therefore, we have, we're not got all the way, all on the go, wasting our energy, and then going, no, I have to completely relax, do nothing, drink beer and watch footy and watch television, and I think I'm relaxing. Not really relaxing, you're benefiting yourself by doing that on so many levels. And from liver to spleen, apathy to always on the go angry. Apathy, angry. Apathy, always on the go angry, or relaxing, doing nothing. It's very much to and fro. We want to try to center and align and come into a medium path of balance on this one. So, because the fungus, that's exactly what they want. They want acid, and they want disease and gunk and heavy metals that they can feed off. So that's going to affect both the spleen and the liver. But the spleen is the one with red blood cells that goes through to the kidneys and the reproductive system. If we don't have red blood cells in there, those things don't work. Kidney gunk, removing fear, very good to get rid of. Happiness in the genitals and reproductive system, very good to get rid of any gunk and acidity and couldn't be bothered apathy and fire in those areas. And they can calm and relax, and we actually use them much, much better. Because our performance in our competition is important to us. Guess what? By removing these things, our competitiveness and our performance gets super duper switched on. At medium pace. Because we've already done the fire, the super quick, I can get everything done and I'm awesome, better than everyone else. Proving yourself stuff. You know that well. We don't need to learn those lessons. We've got that down pat. That's pretty good. We're solid. We're fire people. We get shit done. We're awesome. You know, we've got good digestion. We've got fire. We're fast. We're sharp. Easy, right? We can get this stuff done. What we got to learn is medium pace. And then ideally sometimes slow right down pace. Meditation, qigong, massage, liver flushes, coffee enemas. Very good for fixing the liver and then nurturing the spleen with more resources. It's because we've had so many resources used on this one, we don't have the red blood cells to actually calm it down. Because that's from the spleen production. You'll actually find quite often most fire people at some point will realize that they're significantly iron deficient. That's because the spleen is on fire and doesn't get any nurturing or as much nutrition, and then can't reproduce itself and gets worse and worse over time. And that's why we get, fire people diseases. It's all based on acidity and fungal infections. So, if we can get rid of those, we have more energy for our everyday life, and we can actually do half the training and the distance and the hard work and get twice the results. So we get a 4 times more efficiency and more energy, 4 times more efficiency and energy. Isn't that attractive, especially to a fire pitter person who's competitive and their performance and excellence is important to them? Totally. Guess what? The lessons are medium pace and slow down. So, and in order to do that, we need to have more antifungal foods in our diet as well. And then we can stop the eruptions of emotion and spitting fire at people from the volcanoes, because we're getting rid of the volcanoes as they go and getting rid of the sting that's attached to them. So, fungal infections. That was a bit more than I expected. I got channeled when I've been taking some crown chakra medicine combinations, biohacking alchemical genius from the Awesomeness Alchemist. So, I'm downloading stuff. How good's that? So, till next time, let's get rid of the fungus, because fungus are the ones, the fungal network is controlling the body. That's the thing, I forgot. Oh, another download. The biofilms in the body. So the biofilms are essentially the mucous membrane that is the network through the body. The way I think about it is, you can either look at it as the network, or the internet network, or remember the movie Avatar, when we had that network of blue energy through the plants and the trees on the fancy planet with all the blue people. that's exactly what is here in our Mother Nature and in our spiritual network above us in consciousness. As above, so below, right? Fits, doesn't it? Always fits in. As above, so below is so applicable for so many things, especially in the body. And then, as above, so below. So what's in between is us. So you know the concept of the clear channel. It's an esoteric concept or spiritual concept, the clear channel, or the hollow bone. So if you can have a hollow bone in yourself, ideally have your body shaped like this, like a hollow bone. Very big advantage health-wise having a V shape. And of course, getting rid of the gunk that isn't you. Because there are all the filters of the mind are the chakras, which are the whole lot down here. If you can clear and clean all this gunk out, you'll get a V-shaped body. Jeez, this is a good shirt for this. This is a Manipura, and that's the most important part. The gut health, the solar plexus. That's the absolute most important part of the body, right there in the nervous system junction box. Because this is where you connect your sun, your internal sun, and do you have the fire for this bath, to this sun, which is where the next fire comes at the third eye, and then to the crown, if you've got enough oxygenated blood flow to do it, and you're not wasting your energy detoxifying and eating crappy food, then you can get your fire going straight up and down, and then this one connects to the universe, the external sun, what some people call source, or God, whatever you want to call it. So then you've just created a network. As above, so below, fire superconsciousness, fire in your own fire of the Pentecost crown chakra, and then pituitary and pineal glands are open with fire, and your brain works. You stop using just 10% of the emotional parts and you've opened up the neofrontal cortex of 90%. How good's that? And the key to this, getting information to superconsciousness through your body, and then you just go, yep, got it, download. Some might call like psychic abilities. Because you just get stuff quick. That's all it is. You work well, function highly, with excellence. And of course, you get that below and you're connected to Mother Nature in her network, in her fungal network. That's why we love grounding and touching in Mother Nature times. But the key, what we've got to do for us, if we want absolute personal development and spiritual excellence and genetic potential within ourselves, we've got to get that fungal network with that fungal network connected with ours, which are our biofilms. Biofilms are that mucous membrane link between the body, much like the movie Avatar or Mother Nature. Ooh. We've got to get ours clean and clear, and we've got to get to them. So in the body, we've got so much, especially for fire people, we've got so much fungus, we've got so much acid, and our organs on the outside and digestion aren't working very well or very cleanly. Because in our environment, we really need to have a lot of detoxing. And then, of course, you've got all that connected. Where was I going with that? Oh, and then the biofilms, on top of that, you've got layers of mold and plastic and fungus and mucus plaque and solid fecal matter and pesticides and all that sort of herbicides and toxins. So by getting rid of all those toxins, and then that next level of mucus, and the next level of parasites, or this next level of fungus, or that next level of gunk of any sort, heavy metals in particular, and then you get to the biofilms. We've got to clean and purify and get to our biofilms, because then we can have an absolutely light and love, super clean body and get downloads and be spiritual masters and be out of our spiritual potential. How cool is that? Yeah, it would be handy, wouldn't it? Yeah, it's good, isn't it? So, getting rid of all that gunk, getting back to the biofilms. You connect the biofilms in your body, you connect the biofilms in Mother Nature without the fungus controlling the mind through the nervous system, without the parasites controlling the mind through the nervous system, in the subconscious that people don't really realize, because that's the devil's greatest trick. You never, people too, create the idea that he never existed. No, the devil's the parasites in here. You just can't feel them because they're any disconnections, short circuits of the nervous system. Because when you get rid of them, the nervous system starts reconnecting together, and you get all this more energy and more blood flow and all this more function, and then the brain and the neurology improves as well. So getting rid of the heavy metals, getting rid of the parasites and fungus is phenomenal. And putting in, and the heavy metals, getting a lot of them out, then putting in brilliant minerals to replace all of these with, and just works tremendous. You just get rid of all the gunk that was bothering you. You're getting better and more energy every day, and then you're gaining more energy and more potential, and getting rid of more and more gunk. Then you just skyrocket quickly. Your growth is quite phenomenally huge. So, having a lot of fire, connecting it in so you can get the clear channel. And of course, spinal alignment, it's got to be done too, because then you get the soul of man. King, soul of man. You know, you're not going to have the king walking around like this. Nobody's going to respect him for the posture. Boom, up and down, nice spinal alignment, strong posture, strong presence. King, soul of man is soul of man. So if you want to have the soul of man or woman, then you need to have a strong spine, upright posture, have a great presence, fantastic health, getting rid of all the gunk. In connection with Mother Nature. Pretty handy that. So, that was a bit of a channel download. Fungus. Fungus do control the mind. Did the fungus take over my mind to say all these sorts of things? Well, that's a possibility as well. But I'm getting rid of them and then getting to the biofilm, so then you can really get super tuned in with also your psychic abilities, which are just earned through clean body and great practices, which feels great, and you get lots of energy. Fantastic. Cool. Fungal, fire, sorts of stuff in there. I hope there was some wizardry and some magic that allowed you to connect some neural pathways with a few ideas and a few things that you might be able to do to improve yourself with. Or how can I love myself more is another great question I love to ask myself. Because, what answers? You're going to get a good answer, aren't you? It's perfect for you. And you're going to improve.